You don't matter. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel good? Hi, I'm John Scharinger, the Change Operative. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about empathetic leadership and how to be a better leader. So real quick, before we get started, if you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell, I'd very much appreciate it. So how did that make you feel when I said you didn't matter? Probably hurt a little bit, didn't it? That is what you are doing when you don't pay attention to the people you're talking to. Now, if we are in a career setting, in a job, and you're doing that to your people, if you're a leader and you're doing that to your people, what do you think is going to happen down the line? Your team isn't going to trust you. They're not going to care about you or the team in general. You're going to be a bad leader and an ineffective leader. And that's what we're trying to combat today. I want to make you a better leader, a more empathetic leader, somebody that can create, build, and lead a team to bigger and better heights. You know, the first time that I really embraced this empathetic leadership is when I became a parent, is when my daughter came into this world. Now, I'm kind of a selfless man to begin with. I'm an empath to begin with. But when she came into this world, that brought in a whole different perspective, because now I'm not living for me. Now I'm not living for me and my wife. I'm living for her. What I'm doing, what I'm going to be doing, is to benefit her life, is to make her life better, is to make sure that she has what she wants so that she can be the best person possible. That's how you got to look at your career. That's how you got to look at your job, at your style of leadership. And if you are leading people at this time, not managing, but leading, being a leader. If you're leading people at this time, that's how you want to look at it. Not treat them as kids. That's patronizing. They're going to see right through that. That's not authentic. But treat them as they were your kids. Give them every opportunity to succeed. Make sure that when they do fail, you're not hollering at them. You're not demeaning them. You're not tearing them down, but you're helping them to understand how they failed and give them, again, the tools they need to succeed and do better the next time. Empathy and leadership. You don't think those two would go together, but they do. Being an empathetic leader is probably the best leader out there because you are building a team. You're building a network. You're building a tribe around you. Now, a lot of people, especially now in today's age, feel that they are leaders, feel that because they're in a higher position, a higher manager position, or they just get into management, that they're automatically a leader. That's not the case. Managers are not leaders. Leaders are not managers. They're not synonymous. What we are trying to do today is no matter in what stage of your career you are in, you are going to build yourself into a leader, into an empathetic leader. And naturally, once you do that, you'll get more people rallied around you. You get more people to want to do things for you, and you'll have a better working environment. And the way that we're going to do that is in 3 different parts. First, we need to be present. Second, we need to be able to engage with them. And third, we need to be able to include them in any facet and form. So the first thing we want to do, number 1, is we want to be present when you are engaging. Now, I slowed that down so you can understand that. We want to be present while we are engaging. You can also look at it as active listening. So when you are talking to someone, whether it is a colleague or one of your subordinates, that you're there, not physically, but mentally and emotionally there. See, the problem we have nowadays is there's so much going on. We use that excuse is that we are so busy, even though we're not being productive. Yet we are so busy to do this, that, and the other task. We need to run to that meeting. We need to get to this meeting. We have this over on the other edge of the building. Then we got to run all the way back to this edge of the building to do something. There's never enough time in the day. Yet, every day, every place that I've been a part of, every person has been screaming to be engaged with, to feel like they matter, that they're not just another position, that they're not just another number. but that they actually matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to be engaging and we're going to be there. If our phone vibrates in our pockets or in our hand, we're not going to look at it. If someone walks next to us and says hi and tries to start a conversation, nope, sorry, excuse me, I'm conversating with this person right now. Me and this person have a dialogue going on and I want to see this through. I want to show this person that I am attentive to them, that I am engaged, enthralled, and I care not only about who they are, but about what they are saying. And it doesn't matter if it's about business, or if it's about pleasure, or if it's about their personal life. We just want to feel heard. I want you to understand that right there. If you're a leader listening to this, your people want to feel heard. They want to feel mattered. They want to feel like they matter. And you will understand if that is not happening for you, because they won't tell you their problems. They won't tell you about their life. When you ask them about how the weekend went, they won't tell you, because they already know you don't care. They already know that you're just building up small talk to get to whatever you want. And you're probably doing a piss poor job of articulating what you want for them, putting them in a bad position to get their jobs done. Think about that. Think about the way you communicate. But right now we're talking about engaging actively, active listening to the people in front of you. All the other distractions going off, barring any life-threatening actions, every other one can wait. When you are talking to someone, be there, be with them, ask engaging and active questions. Lead them on into a more expansive conversation. You can lead the conversation, no matter if they're the one doing all the talking. Your questions will lead that conversation. And I guarantee you, doing that will help them to understand that you give a shit. Because if they don't feel that from you, then they're not going to care. They're only going to come, do their 9 to 5 and go home. They won't put in any extra effort. They won't do or work or help with any of the projects that you need help with. They're going to do their time and leave. If you're a good leader, you're going to be able to build a team that wants to put forth that extra effort. You'll understand and you'll know that once you start changing your dialogue with people, once you start changing your conversations, once you start making sure that the person you are talking to or the people that you're talking to, if it's a group, you make them heard and make them feel like they matter, it's going to come around for you. I guarantee it. The next thing we want to do, number 2, authentically give a shit about who you're engaging with. And I kind of spoke about it in number 1 there, right? You want to authentically care about what the other person is saying. So if your subordinate is talking about a fishing trip they just went on, you're asking them active and engaging questions about that fishing trip. Where did they go? What streams did they fish on, or did they fish on a lake? Did they fly fish? Did they use bobber? Are they big game fishers? What are they? Are they on a boat? Are they on the shore? Are they wading in the stream? Ask questions to make them elaborate a little bit more. Learn about them. If they have a family, learn about their family. Give a shit about them. It's basically the golden rule. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. If you want other people to care about you, if you want other people to engage with you and have a conversation with you and tell you what's going on, not only in their lives, but in the work around you, you need to do the same thing. It's a two-way street. It's not one way. If they're not feeling engaged, they're not going to do it for you. So you need to be present, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take some work. So I suggest, if you're trying to work on this and you're not that good at it, get somebody, a friend, somebody very close to you, or a mentor, somebody that you can work with and work on this with, give you some pointers back on how your body language is. That's a big indication on if you care. How is your facial features? Are you looking around when the person's talking at everything or every movement? I know I've had that problem before. I've worked on it. It can be worked on, it can be fixed. Because again, if somebody's talking to you and you're looking this way, they're not going to think you're engaged. You're not going to look like you care about what they're saying. Again, whether it's personal or whether it's for the position or job they're in. Already talked about it's maintaining body position, keeping eye contact. This was so evident for me in my younger years. After I got out of the Marines, I learned it in the Marines, but it didn't really take hold until I came back home and I started talking to a woman that I eventually started dating. And it wasn't until a month or so while we were dating, she told me that what I did for her in that moment meant the world. Let her know that I cared about talking to her. See, me and another friend, we went out and she was with an ex at the time at a bar. It was just the four of us, so it was kind of intimate, little quaint. But they were sitting next to each other. We walked up, greeted, said hi. He started talking to the guy and I started talking to her. Well, these two started getting louder. And I couldn't hear her talk. Could we have walked away and went to a different location? Sure, we could have. But in that moment, what I did that I didn't know at the time was so profound for her. I stopped both of our conversations and asked them to keep it down because I couldn't hear her talk. And I wanted to listen to her. Because I wanted to date her. But I really wanted to understand what she was saying. What got her so energized and got her going. And I couldn't hear that when these two guys were cracking jokes and being loud. So it works. It works in the personal life. All right, so eventually I got to date her. She was an amazing woman. But it works in your career as well. Whether you're a low-level, mid-level, or upper-level manager, or if you're just somebody on the shop floor or the lowest level person in your organization, it doesn't matter. Being engaging, being authentic to the people that you are talking to is going to give you brownie points and bonus points up the wazoo. Once people understand that you give a shit, they're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to engage with you. They're going to tell you things that they might keep secret for everybody else, but because they feel like you care. You've created this environment around you that it's safe to share. And you remember what they share. They're going to want to do it more and more. So if you are a leader and you struggle with this, I advise you, find somebody, whether it is a colleague, whether it is a best friend or a mentor, somebody that you can work on this with because it will pay dividends for you. So that was number two. Number two, authentically give a shit about who you're engaging with. Number three, include them in the solution or at least the process of collecting and analyzing the data. So now we're being inclusive. And I know every organization out there, every company out there is trying to work and hire people, hire consultants to help them understand how to be more inclusive with people. It's extremely simple. Include them in the decision-making process or the data collection process. Again, they want to be heard. They want to have a voice. They have ideas. They have the data. They have the knowledge. They have the experience. Use them. Be authentic. Listen, engage, be there, be present. Use them. They want to be included in whatever project is going on. And in your personal life, they want to be included in your decisions. So if you first start dating somebody and you go off and just continue to live your single life and you're going out to do this party or you're taking a vacation over there or you're doing this on the whim, but you're not including the person that you're dating, you're not asking them, not for permission, but including them in your decision making, they're going to feel left out. They're going to feel like you don't care about them or you want to be with them, which is going to create a rift in your relationship. The same thing goes for the work environment. If you don't include the people, whether it's a colleague or subordinate, if you don't include them, you're going to build a rift within your organization, within your team. And let me tell you, that is the wrong way to build a team. You're going to be doing so much more damage control because you didn't include them early on. Now, just because they're giving you information, they're giving you data, they're doing all the analysis, doesn't mean you have to go that route. As long as you talk it out, as long as you're actively engaging and active listening with them, as long as you're being authentic and letting them know what your vision is and what you're going towards and why you collected the data, but it isn't the right data you needed or it doesn't help in the project. As long as you're being truthful, you have integrity, you include them, you listen to them, they're gonna want to do more work for you. The more you engage with them, the more you include them in the decision-making process, the more they're going to want to do. The more times they're going to go above and beyond for you because they feel like they're a part of the team. They feel like they're a part of the solution instead of you making them feel like they're part of the problem. Another great thing you can do when you're trying to engage with people, when you're trying to be an empathetic leader, is straight out, blatantly ask them, how do you want to be led? What can I do as a leader to make you feel more valued? I guarantee you when you start to do that and you ask these blatant questions, they might be thrown off guard. But be authentic, be active, be listening, keep the eye contact, keep the body position, right? Engage with them. Don't stand like this to them and talk like this. Keep your body pointed towards them so they know that you are tracked on to them. Don't be looking around. If you ask them a question, be there for them. Engage. Actively listen. Give them active questions and probe into why they either think, feel, or have that data. Get more information. Get to the nuts and bolts of what they're really trying to tell you. You want more out of your employees, right? You want more out of your relationships. You want more out of your partner. Well, if you want more out of them, they're going to need more out of you, which means you need to do more. You need to do more listening, more engaging, more inclusion. You do. You need to start it, not anybody else. You need to start it. If you want respect, you need to give respect. And I don't care if you're an upper level manager and you've been in your organization for decades. You want respect from your subordinates, you need to give them respect. You know, when I first started this video, I started out saying that you don't matter. And it's partially true. Because you don't matter in that moment. Your wants, your needs, your cares, your insecurities, your fears do not matter. You as a person do not matter in that moment. When you're engaging with somebody, when you're asking them questions, you do not matter. They matter in this moment. And once you make them feel like they matter in that moment, once you are active listening and you're engaging and you're including them in your decision-making processes, even though they're going to be the person that matters the most in that moment, you're going to be the one for them that matters the most in their career and in their lives. Why? Because you made them matter. You included them. You engaged with them. You were present for them. So now, whether it's your career or your personal life, that person, that group of people will start bringing that attention back to you. So keep that in mind when you're trying to build a better team, when you're trying to build a team at all, when you're trying to be a better leader, an empathetic leader, somebody who wants to create, build, and lead a team of some amazing humans. You need to make them feel like they matter. You need to be present. You need to engage, and you need to include.